This is the story of Grandma and the Mermaids. This story is dedicated to my favorite children, Dane, Quincy, Zeta, Leroy, and Grayson. It's also dedicated to all the other wonderful children watching this story. Once upon a time, there was a grandma. She was a very happy grandma, and she lived in a beautiful house. One day, her daughter asked her if she'd like to go on a trip to Florida. Grandma had never been to Florida before, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to go or not. After all, Florida was a long way away from Grandma's home in Iowa. She talked it over with Grandpa Joe. He said, "I think you would really enjoy that trip. I think you should go to Florida. You never know what wonderful things you will see there." Grandma was so excited, she packed her bag right away and was ready to go. Before you knew it, she was ready to get on the big plane and go to Florida. Grandma had to ride in a special place to make sure she didn't get lost. Here she is with her ticket. After a wonderful airplane ride, she landed in Florida. Grandma had never seen such a beautiful place. She just looked and looked and looked at all the beautiful trees. Her favorite were the palm trees. She said, "We don't have trees like that in Iowa." They stayed at a beautiful Airbnb, complete with a pretty swimming pool. Grandma slept like a baby that night in her soft Airbnb bed. But she had a surprising dream. She dreamed she was surrounded by baby mermaids. The next day, they got up and had breakfast. Grandma had a wonderful breakfast and had ketchup on her hash browns. Grandma found a nice quiet beach where she could hunt seashells without getting knocked over by the waves. What a lovely day it was, and Grandma found so many beautiful seashells. But look what Grandma found. Some of the seashells had tiny baby mermaids in them. Maybe you don't know this, but mermaids hatch from eggs that are laid in the sand on the beach. When they first hatch, they're so tiny they don't even have their tails yet. Grandma fell in love with them immediately. She even lay down in the sand next to them, and they all took a short nap. Since there was no one taking care of them, Grandma couldn't leave them behind. She took them to another beach where they played and played all day long. Soon it was time to go, but they made one more stop. Everybody got an ice cream cone. Then it was time to pack up and go back to Iowa. Guess what Grandma's secret is? She's got all of those babies tucked safely in her bag, going back to Iowa with her. When she got home, she told Grandpa Joe about her wonderful trip and explained about the little mermaids. She told him she was going to love them and take care of them until they were big enough to take care of themselves. And that is just what she did. She even found a mermaid to help her, to teach her all the things that little baby mermaids need to know. And at night she would tuck them in, and they would sleep tight and snug in their beds, and Grandma would tell them the story about how she found all of them when she took her wonderful trip to Florida. And they lived happily ever after. The end.